Blessed be the Lord Most High. It's a blessing just to be alive, to be here, to even be talking with you guys. The day is almost done where I live. I don't know why I want to yawn all of a sudden, but I do. But we want to talk a little bit of boxing, right? Boxing talk. We call this the weekend fights and some more. I wanted to open this out by saying, again, thanks be to God that we are here and the blessings of the Lord. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that happened in boxing. You guys can put your comments down in the comment section below or in the chat. Feel free to comment, but we are going through talking about some boxing today. And we're going to get it popping. First off, Alicia Baumgardner. She's facing Christina Datu. And we saw the weigh-ins. Both of them made weight. Of course, Alicia Baumgardner is the undisputed super featherweight champion of the world. And so she's going to be defending her title against Christina Lenartadu. Sorry. I don't know if she's from France or wherever she's from. Both women look in shape. Both women look ready to go. So it should be a good fight. I think Christina only lost to either, I think it is Persoon. I think she lost to Persoon. I think that's the person she lost to. She has one loss on her record. Yeah. So that's what's happening over this weekend. My prediction for that fight is that Baumgardner will win. She's looking for a stoppage, but I don't know if she will get a stoppage. But I do see her. I do see her winning the fight. Okay. And she works her butt off. You know what I mean? And she's got a great trainer, Tony Harrison, who trains her. So, you know, she's gonna be good to go. When it comes to the other fight, so that fight's on DAZN this weekend. The other fight is Frank Martin versus Artem Harutyunyan, something like that. Harutyunyan, I think it is. Artem Harutyunyan, he currently fights in Germany. He crossed the seas. His first fight overseas, away from his hometown of Germany. I looked at him. He got decent boxing skills. He can do a couple things. Kind of versatile. Not super sharp. Likes to lead in with a lot of hooks. But Frank Martin's super sharp. Southpaw. I think Frank's just going to be way too much for Artem. But we will see. You never know. You know, we'll see how Artem performs in Las Vegas. This fight's going to happen in Las Vegas. Nevada on Showtime. So we're going to see. In this Frank Martin's first card, I think that he's actually heading. He is the headliner. So the co-main event, I believe, is I forgot the two people's names. Two younger fighters. But this should be a good fight for Frank to showcase his skills. Artem's an okay fighter from what I saw. I don't know how sharp he'll come in. You know, you can look at a fighter on a fight-to-fight basis, and the fighter may look a certain way, but then, you know, when you actually face them, it's a totally different story. So we'll see what really happens with that and Frank Martin. But these are good fights we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how competitive the fights are, but they're good fights for the A side. Okay. Because Frank Martin said he wanted to face, you know, whoever, the top three guys, you know, whether it be Tank, Haney, Shakur, you know, or even Lomachenko, or, you know, some top 10 fighter. So we're looking forward to seeing what Frank will do. You know, Errol's also down in Las Vegas training. So, you know, he got some interviews with Errol. He got some interviews with Derek James, you know, covering various topics from Derrick James handling that load now that he has, because now he got, Frank Martin, then he got Errol Spence, then he got, Anthony Joshua, and then the last one is Jamel Charlo. And Ryan Garcia might have a fight with Rolly Romero. So it's all those fights you're talking about, Derrick James having to trade all these fighters. So it should be interesting. It should be an interesting set of fights ahead for Derrick James. See how he handles it, how he handles each fighter. Frank Martin comes up first. So this weekend here on the 15th, tomorrow the 15th, Frank Martin will be facing Artem, Harutyunyan, from Germany. So this should be an interesting fight. Harutyunyan, if he moves, because Harutyunyan, he comes at you, but he can also box off the back foot to kind of move, tries to dip onto shots and stuff like that. I saw him in 2 or 3 different fights. He comes with hooks. Not too sure how much power he has, but from what I see, he's been dropping guys in Germany. And then he had some surprise upset fights against certain people who came to Germany, and he beat them. So, not somebody to sleep on, but at the same time, it could be somebody, that Frank Martin could really showcase his skills, show what he can bring to the table, and might even get a stoppage. Frank Martin goes in there usually to get a stoppage. So that's, my prediction is Frank Martin, I think by stoppage, late. And with Alicia Baumgardner, I think she'll win. I'm not too sure if she'll stop this girl, because the cap that Leonard Tadu was wearing was war. So she coming in to have a war with Alicia Baumgardner. So we will see. These women, they may look beautiful, but I'm telling you, man, they hard as iron. You know what I mean? They hard, they tough. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they do. They fight all day, every day. That's their job. But women's boxing been heating up. We got a couple undisputed champs now in women's boxing, quite a few. I think we have more than men, and that's quite cool. Former undisputed champs and etc. So we got some other things to talk about. Devin Haney, of course, having more options. Teofimo Lopez not being retired, coming out of retirement, if they want to call it that, but he wasn't retired. Challenging Devin Haney and him, trying to make that fight happen. Hopefully that fight might happen. That's a good fight for Devin Haney. That's a good fight for Teofimo Lopez. 2 rising stars, great stars. Have done tremendous things in the sport of boxing. Both lineal champions. That could be a good fight. That could be a big fight. That could be a massive fight. Top Rank can make. And then, of course, Devin Haney, of course, also getting an offer from Eddie Hearn to face Regis Prograis. That's another good fight. That's actually, in my opinion, a more dangerous fight than Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. And y'all will say, well, Teofimo Lopez, man, he was undisputed and this and that and the other, and Regis Prograis, he suffered that loss to Josh Taylor. And look how Lopez handled Taylor. Well, styles make fights, 1. 2, that version of Josh Taylor, I still think was weight drained. So he wasn't really going at the hardest that he could have gone. And I think Teofimo Lopez even said, bro, you need to move up. You know what I'm saying? Because Teofimo Lopez knows about that, because he faced George Kambosos, and he was also weight drained. So he kind of knows a little bit about that. But not taking away nothing from Teofimo Lopez in terms of his win against Josh Taylor, I think that Josh Taylor should move up. That's the only loss, though, Regis Prograis has. It's against a prime Josh Taylor. And you could dispute that Regis Prograis probably won that fight. It was a really great action-packed fight, a memorable fight, and a great win for Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor has, since outboxed guys and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that if Josh Taylor came 100%, he would have beaten Teofimo Lopez. But the way how Lopez beat Josh Taylor wasn't even competitive. Showed me that, not Lopez, but Josh Taylor. Taylor, he won 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because of the weight cut. The fact that even a guy like Catterall was giving him all his problems. A full-fledged Josh Taylor with full energy in him would have really, made that fight with Catterall even more competitive. Now, and he did come on late in the fight, but he still looked sluggish, and he didn't look like the Josh Taylor we knew. The Josh Taylor can box, he can bang, he can fight on the inside, all that. So I think he'd do better to go up to 1 147. Now, 147 is a live division. It's like lit. Like, there's some monsters in 147. Not to say there ain't no monsters at 140 as well coming up. You know, yeah, Antoine Russell. You know, you got a bunch of guys. You know, plus one of the champs. He's like a beast. You know, I'm talking about Mateus. Mateus is another beast there in 140. He's tough. You know, so Subriel Mateus. You know. So, you know, we got some beasts up in 140, but it would be great to see Devin Haney go up to 140, which is probably where he's going to go. He's not even listening to Shakur Stevenson. He's not really paying much mind to him. And the WBO was trying to shut down Devin Haney, but if Tio really won that fight, Devin and Tio, that definitely could happen next. That could be the fight that happens next. So it's really up to Teofimo Lopez, you know, call out Devin Haney like he's doing on Twitter. They can make that fight happen, and that could be that's actually I think a better fight than Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney, not because Regis Prograis is not a good fighter. I think he's a tougher fighter of the two, but I think that Regis versus Haney's not as anticipated by the fans as Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. They got history, you know. Lopez talking about, you know, Haney was ducking him. Haney saying that Lopez signed the contract, will make the fight happen, you know. So they got some history since 135. So it's going to actually be more lit if Lopez faced Haney than if, you know, Haney was to face Prograis. So I think that's the more lit fight out of all of them. Now, people wanted to see also, you know, my boy Aki Sports TV wanted to see Haney versus Stevenson. But I'm not really, like, Stevenson be moving too slow, too lethargic, too late, you know, in the game. You know, I don't really see Stevenson really trying to pursue Haney like that. He wasn't trying to. You know, you had way back after Haney had just beaten Lomachenko, and that happened in the month of, what was it? What month was that? May? We are now in the month of July. Or was it June? It was in June. Right? Way back in the month of June, Devin Haney told him to activate his mandatory position. He didn't do it. Right? And this is the first time Shakur never did that. And he did it for Herring. He did it for Oscar. He did it, you know, for when he was at 126. He did it. So why he didn't activate his mandatory clause? That delay showed me Shakur wasn't really, you know, about it. And they say, well, if he activated, Devin Haney could vacate. Devin Haney wasn't going to vacate nothing. Devin Haney told him activate the thing. He told him what to do, and he didn't do it. Know what I mean? But Devin Haney have options at 140. I know Devin Haney's moving up to 140. Tank just came out of prison. You know, Tank might put himself in the mix, and let's see if Tank call out Devin. Tank has never called out Devin. So I don't see Tank really pursuing Devin. So I think Tank won't stay where he is. Shakur may have to face Tank next. You know, Floyd didn't want Shakur or Devin to face Tank. He wanted them to face each other. That ain't look like it's going to happen. I think Devin's moving up to 140. And from what I see, he has plans to fight at 140. So Devin's going up to 140, no doubt about it. Shakur's going to have to be left with Tank at the top. Loma just came off a loss. That ain't look good for Shakur to just take on Loma coming off a loss. You got to let Loma get some wins under his belt. So if you ask me, the last two guys standing, you know, Coach Kenny was right. Tank need to face Shakur. And that's a really good matchup as well. You think Tio versus Haney is a good matchup at 140. Tank versus Shakur is a good matchup at 135. You know what I mean? Because Tio is the lineal champion. Tio is the number one 140 pounder there. So Haney, who is the undisputed champion and lineal champion at 135, challenging the lineal champion at 140. That's a hell of a fight. That's kind of like Jermell Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, which again is another hell of a fight. Now, maybe Canelo was trying to, I don't know what Canelo was thinking. I think Canelo wanted to face a Charlo. And Mal couldn't do it, so Mel stepped up and said, let me have him. Right? And Mel asked Derek James if that was a fight that he would be interested in. Derek James was like, hell yeah, that's a good fight. And again, you know, Mel's not going to go up there weighing like 170 something pounds, according to Derek James. Say he want Mel going up there like 162, 163, at least 162, 163 on the scales officially, right? He don't want him to be too sluggish, right? So, but Mel, you gotta understand, Mel, you know, I was listening to a discussion with Pull Counter Boxing this afternoon. Mel a little crazy, 1, 2. Mel and Maul, they round about the same size, like I said before. Mel, you know, walk around 170 something. Maul walk around, you know, 180 something. The Mel probably only walk around 170 something because, you know, you got to cut down that weight to 154. So you got to stay, you know, within about 20 pounds of 154. So, but Mel probably, you know, naturally would be a 180 something pound guy. So he about the same size as Canelo. You know what I mean? Now on fight night, I don't know what Mel will come in, but we know on the scales, he gonna come in like 162, 163. He gonna cut that weight to get that, and then he gonna go back up to his fighting weight. Because I'm sure on fight night, Mel be fighting at, you know, round about 170 something pounds when he's hydrated properly. So Mel ain't gonna have to do all that extra stress on his body to lose all that weight to get on the scales, which is really cool. So I think Mel come in on fight night 170 something like he normally do. He just don't have to cut as much weight, you know. So that's gonna be easier on his body, but he gonna still have to work hard, you know, to get his body, you know, stronger. You know, now that he's fighting at a bigger, you know, at a higher weight, he's gonna have to hit a little harder, you know. But like Derek James said, the speed, the quickness, sharpness, you know, he coming up in weight, facing Canelo, he gonna be the quicker guy. And of course, Mel got good footwork, and he you know, he can use his footwork, and even mixing it up, banging, whatever, you know. So I could see Mel again winning this fight because of the footwork. The footwork's gonna be the difference here with Canelo. Canelo gotta work on his foot cardio, otherwise Mel gonna run rings around him. You know what I mean? Mel gonna really give him serious work. Canelo, you know, will have to find Mel. So that's the thing. So Canelo will have to work on his speed and his, you know, his cardio, his durability, that kind of thing. Because Canelo actually picked one of the toughest fights he could ever have. Because it's a smaller guy, he's gonna be quicker than you. You know, he's gonna hit you with something that might get your attention. He probably won't knock you out. This fight might go 12 rounds. If Canelo started slow though, Mel gonna put the gas on him and he's gonna try and knock him out. He definitely gonna try and knock him out. You know, and them Charlos, they tough. We all know the Charlos are tough. So that's a very interesting fight. And the fact that people are talking about Errol Spence versus Canelo, you know, Mel versus Canelo is not that far-fetched. And again, I still think Mel's the more skilled of the two. So that's a hell of a fight right there. And you know, let's say Mel wins, then Mel is a two-time, two-divisional champion. But unlike if Bud was to win against Spence, where two-time two-divisional champion is separated by one division, Mel would be a two-time two-divisional champion and separated by two divisions. He'd be doing some Bernard Hopkins shit. He'd be doing some crazy ass shit like that. Except Bernard Hopkins wasn't undisputed 2 times. He was only undisputed once. So Mel would have superseded what Bernard Hopkins did, and he definitely gonna go down in the books. Now, there are a number of guys in boxing right now that line up to become undisputed twice. Okay, Alexander Usyk, he's on the cusp of it. He is unified champion, WBA, WBO, and IBF world champion. And of course, Tyson Fury, being the duck that he is, he ducked him to face. And why? This is the epitome of a duck. And I'm surprised nobody in boxing is actually talking about this. Think about what I'm saying now. A duck is when you do not face somebody, whether negotiation breakdown or whatever, and then you face an inferior opponent to that person. Nobody on the level of that person. So let's say you're a world champion, right? And you're going to do a unification fight for undisputed. I mean, who doesn't want to be undisputed, man? You're going to do a unification fight anyway for undisputed. All right? Negotiation breakdown, you don't face that guy. You're not facing your mandatory, which would be a guy who's on the level, or he's on the cusp of the level of facing you. So you're not even defending your title, right? against a mandatory. No, you're going to pick somebody who never boxed, never was a pro boxer a day in their life to defend your title against, and the WBC sanctioned that? I don't even understand it. Like, none of this makes sense. They're making a mockery of the sport of boxing, man. When Floyd Mayweather faced Conor McGregor, right? And all of this for money. And this is what it's just showing us. The WBC don't care about. You talk about it as a non-profit organization, but they don't care about nothing. They have all these belts and all this stuff to make money. That's what they want to do. They want to get their sanctioning fees. They want to make money. And it's really distressing because when you try to defend these sanctioning buddies, they do something stupid, right? I want to defend the WBC and all the different programs they have. But y'all making most of your money off of your belts. That's why you have so many belts. There are too many belts. Like Errol Spence was saying, there are too many belts in the sport of boxing. And now you're taking legitimate titles, legitimate belts. And instead of Tyson Fury facing the next guy in line to face him, like what Alexander Usyk is doing with Daniel Dubois, right? No. It's all about the money. So a crossover fight. If you're going to do a crossover fight, don't do it for a world title, man. Don't do it for a world title. That's not right, man. That's not righteous, man. You just do it voluntary. The sanctioning bet. I remember when Julio Cesar Chavez would face a debutante or something in Mexico. It wouldn't be for a world title because the sanction body wouldn't sanction that. What the hell is going on now? How the hell are you gonna sanction something like that? Come on, man, WBC. Y'all disappoint me, man. What is Mr. Suleiman thinking? You so want the money. You could make a belt, just like how you made the diamond belt for Mayweather versus McGregor. Mayweather was retired 2 years. He wasn't coming back to boxing, and he saw the cash there to get from Conor McGregor, so he did the crossover fight. Nobody takes that fight seriously. It's on his record. Probably should never have been on his record. That kind of hurt the sport in the sense that it was called an actual fight. It was like Floyd came back into the fray and decided to pick off a debutante. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna fight this glorified debutante, right? And make a whole set of money. But the reason people bought into it was because nobody had ever seen that before. So a guy claiming he could box and do everything, gonna dominate the sport, and blah. The guy talked himself into getting that fight. And Ngannou, come on, man. The dude's a UFC fighter, man. He's an MMA fighter. Come on, man. If Tyson Fury's so serious, then you should go into the ring. Well, he's a retired MMA fighter too, so it really wouldn't work. And he should offer his MMA title and he should break Tyson Fury's arm or something. You know what I mean? I don't like that, man. I don't like it. You know, Bud was saying something that would make sense. He said you can fight guys in the ring and in the cage. You gotta keep it fair, man. If the guy gonna come across to your sport, I know that pays more. If he comes across to your sport and you fight him, then it's only fair that you go across to his sport, especially if you're not the face of boxing. You know, Floyd could have called the shots because, and kind of wanted that money, right? But even so, Floyd would not disrespect the sport by fighting for a world championship, man, while you're an active fighter. Notice he was retired when he started doing that kind of crazy shit. When he started fighting, kickboxers and YouTube guys. He's doing this after his career is over. His professional career is done. He's not doing no more. Unfortunately for the Conor McGregor fight, that was a professional fight, which again I disagree with in terms of, yes, it's on his resume. It is a professional fight. But I never approved it. I never thought that was a fight that was worth being a professional fight. You know what I mean? And again, the WBC sanctioned it, which was stupid. And they had a diamond belt or something. And I just, come on, man. Just let it be like people say, it should have been an exhibition. It should have been. It's on his record. There's nothing we can do about it. We can't erase it now. But it should have been just an exhibition, man. That's what that should have been. And Floyd stopped doing that kind of crap. There are two things on Floyd's resume I really don't like. The fight with Marcos Maidana, where I think was the second fight, or the first one, I can't remember. I think it was the second one, where he defended his 154-pound titles against Marcos Maidana, and they fighting at 147. To me, that was some bogus ass shit. I think it was the first fight. That was to keep him from defending his titles, his 154-pound titles, she was holding hostage from a 154 pounder, which Erislandy Lara started barking after he had secured the fight with Marcos Maidana. You know what I mean? And I just didn't like that. I didn't like that. And there's another thing about his career I did not like. I did not like the Conor McGregor fight at the end. I could justify the Berto fight. Berto was a boxer there. He wasn't a top 10 boxer at all. The top 10 boxers Floyd did not face. He faced Andre Berto. Andre Berto was on a winning streak at the time. So, okay, you wanna have a decent guy that's not top 10. He's not one of the top fighters, 10-year career. Fine. Okay? The Conor McGregor fight, when he came back, I didn't have no problem with that. But like a lot of people out there, I thought, man, this should have been an exhibition. I know legally speaking, it's not an exhibition. It is what it is, right? But nonetheless, you know, that should have been an exhibition, because after that fight now, when Floyd started having exhibitions, people was thinking like, you know, I don't know what people were thinking. I think they had so much hate towards this guy. You know, the guy's doing, you know, exhibitions, and people are like, well, look where he's facing, and look where he's facing. It's an exhibition, goddammit. You can do whatever you want in an exhibition. Exhibitions are exhibitions. And that's what people need to understand. You know, you don't have to fight boxers in an exhibition. But Tyson Fury's taking this thing way too far. Right? Not only you duck Alexander Usyk, you ducked him. That's a straight up duck. This is the definition of duck, y'all. Right? That's why I say Tyson Fury's a clown. He a clown. He an idiot. Right? And I'll call it to his face. I'll say you're a fucking clown. All right? You're making a mockery of the sport. And just because you white, nobody's saying nothing to you, but you're a fucking clown. Okay? How the hell could this dude, right? Y'all, sorry about the cursing, but I'm just, the man's a clown. No, the man's a clown. Right? You fought Klitschko. You fought Deontay Wilder. Those are two great names. You challenge your damn self to face Usyk. No, you want more money. You know why you want more money? Because he's more risk. You know that ninja would beat your ass. You risk getting beat. That's what's happening. So now, look what the clown does. The clown goes and he defends his title against a dude that never boxed a day in his life. Man, that's disgusting, dude, y'all. And the WBC allowed that? The WBC allowed that? I don't care if it's a voluntary. The WBC allowed that shit. Man, he should get stripped. He should get stripped. Period. You can't be representing the WBC. That's dishonorable, man. And you always say, oh, well, you vexed that he get the bag. No, it's not the bag. This is not about the bag. He want to face Joseph Ngannou, face him as a non-title fight. Chavez, all these guys did that. You can face him as a non-title fight. When you bring the title in, look, I'm not against a guy facing crossover fights. I'm not against guys facing MMA fighters or whoever they want to face. Right? Fighters had the history of fighters had exhibitions in between in their careers. They had exhibition fights. They had all kinds of fights, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Here's where it's wrong. You know the WBC title. The WBC title is a title that depends on rankings. So if you're gonna face a fighter, right? Because this is what Tyson Fury is doing. This is he's making a mockery, I tell you, of boxing. Because boxing has a ranking system. Right? If Tyson Fury did not want to face Alexander Usyk, you're gonna bypass all 100 and something or 1,000 and something boxers that are heavyweights. You're gonna bypass all those guys. Right? You couldn't even find a decent fighter, a decent heavyweight from some European country to fight, to do your voluntary with. You bypass all of them to a guy who has never put on a pair of gloves and got in the ring and had a pro fight. That is disrespectful to the WBC. I can't even believe the WBC is doing this, because Ngannou is not even a part of their organization. right? But they're trying to get, because they want the sanctioning fees. They're so fucking greedy that they want the sanctioning fees. It's so disgraceful what they're doing. And this is disrespectful to the sport. I was listening to my boy, Nestor Gibbs. Not Nestor Gibbs ain't my boy. Nestor Gibbs is trying to defend this nonsense. I would call it fuckery that Tyson Fury is doing to the sport of boxing. All right? Jake Paul don't do this nonsense. I can't believe a boxer who knows the system in Tyson Fury is doing this. This is outrageous because he's making fun of our sport. And the WBC is aiding him in making fun of our sport. Okay, so let me explain something. You have sideshows in boxing. Exhibitions are sideshows. Crossover events are sideshows. A crossover event like, what Jake Paul is doing. He's doing crossover events. Those are sideshows. When he faced a real boxer in Fury's brother, right, who engaged him, he got beat. Okay? Tyson Fury needs to understand when he's doing a sideshow. He's been in the MMA, he's been in the WWE, right? When you're doing a sideshow, you don't bring legitimate boxing into a sideshow, man. You don't do that. You just don't. Okay? And Ngannou is not a boxer. He's not. He's an MMA fighter. He's not a boxer. So why is he getting a chance at the championship in boxing when he's not a boxer? He's not a boxer. That should be for boxers. People who work their way up the ranking system to get a fucking title shot. That is for the top 10 in the sanctioning body. That is not reserved for just anybody. If it's not, okay, if you're not top 10, you gotta have a history, man. You gotta have to be a former world champion or a former #1 contender or some shit like that. Your name gotta be out there, like real. That is not for people who are not boxers. What the fuck then? Why the hell we have sanctioning bodies? Why do we have ranking systems? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I'm a new school guy. I listen to the new school people and everything. But this is a mockery of the sport. Don't tell me nothing about no fucking money. You don't have to have a world title to do that. And the sanctioning body should never have sanctioned that. Never. As a world championship defense? Come on, man. That is ridiculous. Hold on a second. See what's going on out there. Okay. Okay, that's not for me. So, what you need, and I'm not a boxing purist per se. I'm just somebody talking about the functionability of sanctioning bodies and the functionability of ranking systems. And there's a reason why you have a fucking ranking system, man. Okay? So this precedent is stupid, and it's just because of greedy people trying to get money. Even if it's... And the WBC, WBC is so stupid, man. Y'all want to make belts? Well, have a diamond belt for the occasion. Just like how you had a diamond belt for, or whatever the hell you had for Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson. Y'all had a belt for that. But don't come with a legitimate belt. What is wrong with the WBC, man? This is atrocious. Atrocious. Stupid. Tyson Fury's a clown and the WBC looks like clowns. How can you endorse that? So anyway, I thought I'd engage on that ridiculousness. Okay, that's in the news. It's some stupid shit. Okay, it's stupid, plain. Not going to help the sport of boxing. That's one area. Then when the fuck are boxers? Why are they going through ranking systems? Why are they going through ranking systems? If you can get a shot at a champion and you don't even have to have a pro fucking fight, why? What are you really saying? And don't tell me that Ngannou, he built up a fan base and all this bullshit. He ain't no Conor McGregor. He ain't no Conor McGregor. So therefore he deserves a title shot. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I can understand Tyson Fury doing a crossover with him, but not for the WBC title. Man, I wish Ngannou would somehow catch Tyson Fury and knock his ass out. What the fuck will the WBC do then? And Ngannou will be the WBC champion. He'll be the WBC champion. And then he'll have to face another champion in Alexander Usyk. That would be so beautiful, because that is the epitome. That is the epitome of what we call cherry picking. That's a cherry pick. The WBC endorsed cherry picking. Ducking and cherry pick. That's a cherry pick. How the hell are you going to be defending your world title against a guy who's never boxed professionally a day in his life? I just wish to God Ngannou could knock out Tyson Fury. That would be interesting. For that cherry pick. All of these non-black fighters try to find the easy way to make a buck. Meanwhile, the black fighters have to go through all kinds of hoops. Let's pay attention. Pay attention, please. We got Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Devin Haney versus Kambosos. Twice. Tank finally faces Ryan Garcia. We're getting Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. All the talk about Errol ducking and all the duck. We're getting that. Devin Haney's public enemy number one, but he's the guy that's facing all the tough fights. He's having all the tough fights. Calling out all the names. Right? But when we look, Canelo Alvarez, he seemed to be picking the easiest route. He thinks it's easy to face Jermell Charlo. For some reason, he thinks that's the easy route. I'm telling you, ain't no easy route. I'm gonna tell you all that right now. Right? He won't pick a 168 pounder. So, man, I'm rooting for Canelo to lose that fight, because he could have picked a 168 pounder in David Benavidez, David Morrell, Demetrius Andrade. He could have picked a 168 pounder. He decided to pick a 154 pounder. He's trying to get a size advantage so he could knock out the 154 pounder. So I hope Mel beats his ass. I really do. They're all picking the easy way out. Meanwhile, the black fighters, they having the toughest fights of their lives. And if one of them just even smells like he's a duck. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You're giving people passes. Up to this day, Arthur Beterbiev will not face Dmitry Bivol. Bivol been asking for that fight. Now, who is Beterbiev facing? Yet another guy who, I'm about to say that Beterbiev is ducking Bivol. I'm about to say that. Because Beterbiev, after he faced Anthony Yarde, he was supposed to face Bivol. Supposed to face Bivol. What the hell is he doing facing another guy? He facing Callum Smith. Seriously? Now, to be honest, man, I really hope, I would love to wish that Callum Smith would knock out Beterbiev, but that ain't gonna happen. Callum Smith's a good fighter and everything, but he ain't ready for Beterbiev. He's not ready for him. You know what I mean? He's not ready for Beterbiev. But I wish Callum Smith could spoil the whole party and knock out Beterbiev. That would be awesome. Because these guys keep on ducking and dodging the tough fights. They're not trying to go to the smoke. They're not trying to get that smoke. You know they're ducking and dodging. The hell is Beterbiev doing facing Callum Smith out there? Well, he's with Top Rank and, Bivol with his own. No, Bob Arum know his fighter can't beat Bivol. He know Bivol will beat. He knows this. Beterbiev's ass. He knows this. Arum ain't no fool. I told y'all. Arum ain't said peep about Shakur versus Devin Haney. You know why? He gonna let Devin Haney walk off into the sunset to 140 pounds. I'm gonna tell you why. Bob Arum knows. He knows. He knows boxing. He knows fighters. He know Devin Haney would whoop Shakur's ass. He'll beat him up. He knows that. You know why Tank ain't call out Devin Haney? Devin Haney's not in Tank's mouth? Because Tank knows Devin Haney would whoop his ass. They know firsthand, both of them. They know Devin Haney. And this Devin Haney right now is a bad boy. They know this. They saw his fight with Lomachenko, and no matter what Shakur says, he know Lomachenko ain't win more than 4 rounds. He knows that. He had a big 10th round. No doubt about it. Lomachenko couldn't even drop Haney. He had him doing the skanky leg a little bit in the 10th, but he couldn't drop him. Couldn't do him nothing, right? Haney came back in the 12th. So what I'm saying is to you guys, and Haney was working that body. He was taking some headshots, but he sacrificed getting hit in the head to go to the body. He was going to the body religiously. He didn't stop. And Lomachenko was feeling that. And all I'm going to say to y'all is, Haney hits hard. Lomachenko knows. He hits hard. Right? And he a big dude. So, if, I would love to see Haney versus Regis Prograis, because Prograis, he ain't no joke. I think Prograis is a tougher fight than Teofimo Lopez for Haney, because Prograis got a different mentality. Teo has, I think Teo has a lot of skill, but Teo don't move his feet enough. Prograis cut off the ring better than Teo and a lot of other things. Teo being challenged, and Teo's a very brilliant fighter and everything, but Haney's just, again, the feet. Teo's feet not good like Devin's feet. Prograis feet not like Devin's feet, and I think that's the difference right there. Anyways, my people, I sort of talk about that. If you got any other topics you want us to talk about, we can talk about. We chop it up. I'm gonna leave my link again to donations for my channel, PayPal. It's gonna be an interesting set of fights. I did some other fights also that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about them. I just want to talk about these big ones, the upcoming ones. I made my predictions so you guys can decide how you want to handle that with that information. But definitely, I think that the favorites are going to win their fights. That is, Bumgarner on DAZN is going to win her fight. Martin going to win his fight on Showtime. So I'm pretty sure about that. Like I said before, nothing changes. I don't think that, a lot of people favoring Errol Spence. All of a sudden, they think Errol Spence will be able to take out Terrence Crawford or, will break him down. What I don't know, bro. I'm not even trying to guess. All right? Like Errol Spence said, he's more like Hagler versus Sugar Ray Leonard. That's the kind of fight he's seeing this fight being. I see it more as if Leonard was to, say, for example, face Mike McCallum, because I think Errol's more like Mike McCallum than he is like Marvin Hagler, actually, because Errol actually rides and rolls punches and he has defense, and Hagler was a tough guy. He did have defense too, but he was kind of slow. And I think that Mike McCallum is more the guy I see Errol being than Marvin Hagler. And Mike McCallum would have given Sugar Ray Leonard all he could handle at 154. Because Mike McCallum was in a 147 pounder. But I would love to see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence to see. Errol seems to be the one who wants to impose his way and be on the front foot. Terrence, I know Terrence has thump. He has timing as well. And Terrence has great combinations as well. He has good instincts as to what to throw, when, and all of that kind of stuff. And he makes adjustments on the fly. So it should be interesting between those two. But you're not going to get me to predict nothing. You're not going to get me to predict nothing at all. I want to see that fight. That's what you're going to get me to see. You know, I can look at, because there's so many different ways to look at it, one. And two, both guys are flaming hot right now, you know. Yeah, Terrence competition was, you know, wasn't as tight as Errol. Errol got all the prime guys. He got prime Sean Porter, you know, won the world title, defended against Ugas. Ugas is a tough competitor, very strong fighter. You saw Errol broke Ugas' ribs and his eye orbits on. Ugas still wanted to fight. Ugas was protesting. He was protesting a fight against the ref. You know what I'm saying? Ugas was like, let me fight, man. Let me go. If the man gonna kill me, he gonna kill me. But I'm, you know what I mean? But you know, Ugas, man. Oh, Ugas a true warrior for real, man. Ugas heal up and everything, and Ugas ready to fight again. Ugas is a tough dude. You know, he got good defense, smart IQ, everything. You know, so the fact that Errol, you know, broke his eye orbital, all that kind of stuff, Ugas still was fighting through all of that. Showed you what kind of warrior Ugas was. And you know, I think that Terrence Crawford's the same kind of guy as Ugas. I think he has more skill and everything. So that's why I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't know. You know, both guys might come to the finish line hitting each other with hellacious shots and shit. And both guys may come to the finish line, you know, and it might be a hell of a fight. And that's because none of them want to budge. None of them want to give in. So this is the kind of, I'm telling you, man, this is the kind of fight. And they training their asses off right now. Terrence is training his ass off. Errol's training his ass off because they know what it is. They know what they're going to go in. And we know it's going to be a battle of attrition. We know they're going to get each other and stuff. And they're going to hurt each other and everything. But I just think that, you know, this is not one of those fights I can call. I don't know what's going to happen. I do hope that there is an undisputed champion at the end of the fight. But I want you guys to understand something. These fighters are going to lay down everything in that ring. So you guys need to go out there, get the pay-per-view, and pay for it. In fact, I need to start spreading the word on social media about this fight because I need to get my next phone. I need to get another phone so I could cover this fight live. This is a fight I definitely want to cover. This part of history. I definitely want to get this down. I want to be able to have called the fight. So you guys stand by for that. Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, they going back and forth. You know, Wilder is trying to make the agreement with Ruiz. They talking over the internet and stuff. Ruiz is training his ass off. I know they're going to have that fight. Ruiz versus Wilder. That would be a good fight. Don't really know who's going to win that either. Ruiz is a guy who can get to the inside, close the distance on taller fighters. You know, Wilder going to have to be patient and try and check hook him as he's coming in. But, you know, Ruiz has a little trick he does where he feints as if he's coming in and make you throw a hook. And then he come behind that and he slip underneath like your right hand. And Ruiz, he can take a punch. You know, Ruiz, and he recovers really fast. So, I don't know. Deontay Wilder talking about knocking him out. That is not as easy as you think, Wilder. You know, you're going to have to distance control him. You're going to have to do what Anthony Joshua did to be able to set him up so you can catch him with the right hand. And I think even though you light him up with the right hand, Ruiz is still going to keep coming. Ruiz is that kind of guy. He keeps coming, right? And we did see him look more vulnerable against, I forgot what the guy's name is. The veteran, he's in Riverside, California. I forgot what his name is right now. He fought Bermane Stiverne, and Bermane Stiverne knocked him out. I think in the second fight, the first fight they had, I can't remember. I think Stiverne knocked him out as well. I forgot what his name is. Something Rocky, not Riverside Rocky. That's another guy. But anyway, he's an exciting fighter, and he really boxed really well, and he was catching Ruiz with shots, and he dropped. I think he dropped Ruiz twice catch him coming in. So Wilder may look at that and say, there you go. He overly aggressive. Got him. But you know, Wilder got that NyQuil in his hand, but still at the same time, if you are defensively responsible, you could kind of neutralize his right hands and stuff. And Ruiz is a guy that gets within your reach. And then within the reach, Wilder going to have to throw shorter shots. You know, he's going to have to shorten up his punches and give short chopping shots. And I hope he's worked on that. And I hope he's worked on his balance. I hope he's worked on fighting off the back foot properly and all of that. Because Ruiz is going to give him a run for his money. Ruiz always gives everybody a run for his money. Ruiz is that kind of dude. So you got to watch out for that. But yeah, Andy Ruiz, man, trying to get back to the championship status. Maybe challenge Usyk. Usyk would definitely, I think, outbox him. But that's another story for another day. So, you know, we got some exciting things going on in boxing. Claressa Shields might face Savannah Marshall maybe later on this year or early next year. Those are also exciting fights to look forward to. Again, women's boxing shining like a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed the last with DeZarn Cruz versus Savannah Marshall. That woman was throwing bombs. People talking about, you know, Cruz was a little bit more sluggish. That was what Sean Porter said. But for me, man, that woman hit hard. She hit hard. And, you know, to hear Savannah Marshall say she's tough, you know what I mean? Because Cruz is tough. Cruz is tough. I would love to see Cruz versus any one of them. Claressa Shields or Savannah Marshall, you know what I mean? You know, you got so many fantastic women boxers, then you got so many fantastic male boxers, but the women be mixing it up. They really leading the way. That's why you got two-time world champion. And yeah, you could say women's boxing, you know, is still in the earlier stages of development versus men's boxing. But, you know, one thing about them women, you know, they're going to throw down. And listen, man, them women will beat some ass. I'm telling you, they're going to beat my ass. I'm a man, I'm strong and everything. I do martial arts. I even box myself. But I'm telling you, them women strong. I know. I just look at them. Their muscles and everything, they look like steel. They look hard. You know what I mean? When you work in those muscle groups, so you know they hard. They're not just, they're hard bodies. And that's what I'm trying to say. You know, if you're not somebody who's in the martial arts or fighting and constantly making contact with things, you kick them in the shin, you hurt your foot. They like metal, like steel. It's like if they got a steel skeleton or something, you know what I mean? Them women hard, man. I look at them, their abs look hard. I mean, they look strong as hell. Alicia Baumgartner, you know, they say she's pretty and everything. She is beautiful, but don't get it twisted, man. If y'all ever heard about the Amazons, which was women warriors, who used to live up on the high end of Greece near the sea. These women used to be hired by nations to defend them. And these women were warriors, and they used to kill. I mean, they were ruthless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to say this. A lot of people don't know, but basically, women boxers are just carrying on that heritage. They're the female gladiators. They are the female warriors. And all warriors have the same mindset. All warriors have the same mentality. All right? When they go into battle, they're not going to take prisoners. They're going to kill. They have what they got the killing mentality. The kill or be killed mentality. So you got to understand, when Terrence Crawford goes in the ring, Errol Spence goes in the ring, that's why this is no sport. Because the mindset you got to have in the ring, you get the opportunity to kill the guy, which is render him unconscious, render him senseless. You go in for the kill. You don't finish. You finish him off. You finish him off. You kill him. You know, that's boxing. All right, a lot of people don't understand that. You know, that's not, you know, a civilized person can't understand that. You literally, there's a switch that throw on in your head, and now you in a different mode altogether. You're in a killing mode. All you want to do is kill, destroy, kill. That's boxing. That's why sometimes a guy hits another guy and you're like, oh my God, just because he's trying to kill him. Like for real. He's trying to kill him with his hands. Like for real. That's boxing. So I want you to understand that dudes ain't just throwing combination for combination's sake. No, the intention is to hurt, to cause bodily harm, to immobilize, to paralyze, to sever somebody's senses from their from their consciousness. Okay, and that's what does not make it a sport. It's like for real. Two dudes sign up to, and they take each other's head off. Yeah, pretty much kill each other. So I want you to understand that now. So you could thank God that you're not going in that ring. Like I said, you'd be a little crazy to do boxing, because it's called a sport, but it's not really a sport. Okay, and it's the same thing like signing up for the military. If you in a time of war, when you go to war, you're not going there to take prisoners. You're not trying to be reasoning with people. No, you going in there to destroy and to kill. Yeah. As a soldier, that's what you gotta have that mindset. You love your company like if it's your family, but the enemy, which you don't know, so it's not personal, you're going to destroy them. You're going in there to destroy them. And that's a totally different mindset to a civilian's mindset. We, as civilians, have learned, especially in our country, to preserve life. We're not set to take life. That is a foreign concept to us. But the people, the national security of the country, the defense force of the country, the soldiers who protect the country, their job is to protect the country at all costs. And if it costs somebody their life, too bad. Right? Soldiers are not, they're given instructions to go to war. Once you say go to war, we're talking about killing. Talking about killing. And they won't think twice to do that. So you have to understand, you and I benefit from the freedom to be able to choose to live in a civil society, to abide by its rules and laws, where in that society we do not kill. We do not kill. But the people who uphold and keep that society together, you better believe it, my friend, they do kill. They kill to keep that society the way it is, which is a scary concept, because for a lot of people, it's just scary to think about taking a human life and all that. But some people are programmed to do that. And those boxers that enter the ring, there's not much difference between them and a person who commits an assault on another citizen. There's not much difference between them and somebody who kills another human being, whether it's manslaughter or murder. And in this case, in boxing, it's almost like murder, because your intentions are to kill the other guy, to render him unconscious. That's the whole point of boxing. That's what a knockout is. Okay, where he cannot defend himself anymore, and the referee is there to ensure, if the man can't defend himself anymore, that he stops the fight, so it doesn't go any further. Otherwise, it would be death, certain death. All right, people. So I just wanted you guys to understand, those guys that go into the ring to face each other, they ain't going in there to say we're gonna play. We're gonna play, man. We're gonna play a sport. This ain't, no, there's not, nope. They going in there to hurt each other. Bad, if possible. All right. So that's where sporting ends, and where it gets super real quick. All right, man. I'm what you need. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Don't forget you can donate via PayPal to my channel. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.